Well, Democrats are seeing signs of momentum ahead of the midterms after losing big in 2024. But the biggest battle may be happening inside the Democratic Party itself as moderates and progressives compete for control of its future. A growing number of candidates and current lawmakers are backing the socialist movement, taking on incumbents in states like Michigan, while the old guard tries to fight back.
There are a lot of Democrats who say, oh, if you look at it, it's just a very small percentage in very deep blue seats, and it's not that big a deal. I think that that's wrong to just discount it like that. I think you should just come out head on and take it on and say, these guys are wrong. We got nothing to do with them. Well, I want to make it very clear that I'm unequivocally pro-Israel. I don't think we should get rid of the Senate. I don't ascribe to any of those ideas at all.
Corbin Trent served as a staffer to two major progressive leaders, Senator Bernie Sanders and Congresswoman AOC. He joins us now. Corbin, thank you for coming here. Let's talk. Walk me through. So you worked for AOC, you worked for Bernie Sanders. Many of our viewers now are familiar with the rise of the DSA that's winning these primaries, not only here in New York, but also in other places like Colorado. The DSA wasn't really a part of the progressive movement before 2016, when they attached their wagon to Bernie Sanders, and then they've grown since. Where does the Democratic Party stand? Do Democrats that aren't identified with the socialists, Democratic Socialists, do they need to start taking on that and calling them out?
I mean, I think what you've got to do in politics is you take the good ideas and you leave the bad ones. So when it comes to, socialism as it's basically defined in our in our discourse these days, I'm surrounded by that. Like, I live in East Tennessee, right near Knoxville, Tennessee. And if I look out my window, I see Fort Loudoun Dam. Now, that's part of what's called the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, which is one of the most popular, effective utilities in the country. And it happens to also be a publicly owned one. Now, aside from being publicly owned, it was publicly built. The people that poured the concrete, bent the rebar, dug the tunnels, the whole deal, those people worked for the government. They worked here in Tennessee, they worked in Alabama, they worked all across this region. And the same thing's true about every big development we've made, from the Hoover Dam to the interstate highway system, that we used to build the things that we needed, whether it was infrastructure, hospitals. The hospital that I was born in East Tennessee, was owned by Hamblin County and Morristown, the city. They owned the hospital. The people that worked at that hospital worked for the county and the city. And what we were able to do is compete. We were able to keep prices down through competition. And I think that's the ideas of socialism, if you want to call it that,
but
that we absolutely need to reclaim.
Right. I get that. And, traditional progressive Democrats believe that government is the answer, and conservatives have said smaller government is the answer. But now with the socialists, they are openly saying it out loud. We just had one of the leaders of the DSA talking about abolishing the Senate, abolishing ICE, doing away with prisons. This is stuff that was never on the progressive agenda. And you worked for AOC. Now you see her leaning into this energy. Is that a winning strategy for Democrats in places like Tennessee as opposed to New York City?
There's people that want to abolish the IRS and this and that. Do you know how hard it is to change anything about America?
ICE.
Do you know how hard it is to change? Like, for example, most Americans agree that we ought to have money out of politics, but that's going to take a constitutional amendment. And guess what? It's a really hard thing to do. So I don't think we got to sit around being scared that the Senate's going to be abolished in the next few years. It ain't happening. That kind of change is difficult. But you said progressive leaders think the government's the answer. The problem is that too many people in our government think that writing checks is the answer instead of doing work. We cannot buy our way out of the problems that we're in right now. We cannot buy our way out of lack of affordability. We can't buy our way out of the ability to have good infrastructure built quickly. We got to build our way out.
But then why are these socialist Democrats running on that? I mean, are they lying about this, that they're going to do it?
The funny thing is the candidates aren't running on that. Do you hear Abdul El Said on the trail talking about abolishing the Senate? No, you don't.
He's trying to separate himself, but his policies do align. We have a soundbite. Let me quickly, before we run out of time, play a little bit of Abdul El Sayed. Listen to this and tell me if this plays in Eastern Tennessee. Watch.
Put money back in pockets by standing with unions, by taxing billionaires their wealth, by standing up to corporate monopolies and oligopolies, by finally fulfilling the promise and guaranteeing health care to every single person in this country. By ending dumb wars we never should have been fighting on behalf of other governments. By ending the tyranny in our streets and abolishing ICE.
And abolishing ICE, he and Sarah, I'll give you the last word, Corbin. Would that play in Eastern Tennessee?
I think about 85% of that would play in Tennessee. Absolutely. I think a lot of that actually sounds like Tim Burchett. You know, you take out the abolish ICE part there, but the standing up against billionaires and, you know, massive corporations and oligopolies and monopolies, that's very much in the heart of this entire community. And it's even in the heart of our representative, Tim Burchett, whom I disagree with wholeheartedly.
Well, we'll see if Congressman Burchett would agree with you. Corbin Trent, thank you for coming on. It's just a fascinating debate, and really the big question is whether or not some of the socialist, Democrat, progressive ideas that played here in New York City will play in places like where you live in Tennessee. Corbin, thank you. Have a good Sunday.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.